Let's get started. Important disclaimer. This is purely educational and should never be attempted. Dentists warn that even a few days without brushing can cause significant damage, and a full year would result in severe, potentially permanent consequences for your oral and overall health. Your mouth harbors one of the most diverse microbial ecosystems in your entire body, hosting over 700 different bacterial species, with a population ranging from 20 to 100 billion microorganisms at any given moment. This intricate oral microbiome exists in a delicate balance under normal circumstances. Beneficial bacteria like certain Streptococcus species help with initial food digestion and compete with harmful pathogens for resources. However, destructive bacteria such as Streptococcus mutans, Porphyromonas gingivalis, and Treponema denticola are constantly waiting for the opportunity to establish dominance and wreak havoc on your teeth and gums. Every time you consume food, particularly anything containing sugars or starches, these harmful bacteria enter a feeding frenzy. They metabolize these nutrients and produce lactic acid as a waste product, which directly attacks your tooth enamel, the hardest substance in your body. Your saliva provides natural defense mechanisms, producing 0.5 to 1.5 liters daily to wash away debris, neutralize acids, and deliver remineralizing calcium and phosphate to repair microscopic enamel damage. However, saliva alone cannot win this battle. Within just 20 minutes after cleaning your teeth, bacteria begin forming a sticky biofilm called plaque on the protective salivary pellicle that coats your enamel. Without the mechanical disruption of brushing and flossing, this plaque organizes into increasingly sophisticated bacterial colonies. After 24 to 72 hours, minerals from your saliva crystallize within the plaque matrix, transforming it into tartar, a cement-like substance that bonds permanently to your teeth and cannot be removed by brushing alone. Evolutionarily, our ancestors managed without toothbrushes, but they consumed diets with far less processed sugar, ate more fibrous foods that naturally cleaned teeth, and had significantly shorter lifespans. Modern diets combined with modern longevity mean your natural oral defenses are simply insufficient without mechanical intervention. Within the first few hours after abandoning your toothbrush, the changes begin subtly but significantly. Your mouth doesn't immediately signal distress, which makes this phase deceptively dangerous. A thin salivary film quickly coats your teeth, and free-floating bacteria begin attaching to this protein layer within minutes. Your tongue might detect a slightly fuzzy or slippery texture on your tooth surfaces as early plaque formation begins. The bacterial population starts its exponential growth phase, doubling approximately every few hours in this undisturbed environment. Streptococcus mutans and other sugar-loving bacteria quickly colonize areas around your gum line and between teeth where food particles typically accumulate. Your brain, accustomed to the clean sensation following brushing, might register mild discomfort or the urge to rinse, but no alarm bells sound yet. Your saliva production increases slightly during meals as your body's first compensatory mechanism attempts to wash away debris. But without mechanical removal, the bacterial cities continue expanding their territories. By the end of day 1, the bacterial party on your teeth has transformed into a full-scale colonization effort. The fuzzy feeling intensifies into a tangible, sticky layer of plaque coating your tooth surfaces. This biofilm, composed of billions of bacteria, their waste products, food debris, and salivary proteins, creates a visible white-yellow coating, particularly noticeable along the gum line and between teeth. Your mouth develops a persistent, unpleasant taste that water cannot wash away, as anaerobic bacteria begin producing volatile sulfur compounds, the same chemicals responsible for the smell of rotten eggs. Your breath transitions from merely stale to noticeably offensive. The bacterial population has increased by approximately 400% from baseline, and the ecosystem composition begins shifting toward more aggressive species that thrive in oxygen-poor environments. Psychologically, you become increasingly self-conscious about close conversations. Your gums may appear slightly redder than normal as your immune system begins recognizing the bacterial threat and dispatching white blood cells to patrol the area. The plaque layer interferes with your saliva's ability to neutralize acids effectively, allowing bacterial waste products to maintain direct contact with your enamel and begin the earliest stages of mineral dissolution. Congratulations, if you somehow made it to day 5 without brushing, but here's what your body is going through, and the situation has become genuinely alarming. The soft plaque accumulating over the past several days begins undergoing mineralization, reacting with calcium and phosphate in your saliva to form tartar. This calcified bacterial cemetery creates a rough, porous surface that traps additional plaque and accelerates bacterial accumulation in an increasingly vicious cycle. Gingivitis officially establishes itself during this phase. Your gums become visibly inflamed, swollen, and tender, appearing bright red instead of healthy pink. The bacterial toxins trigger a robust inflammatory response, causing your gums to bleed easily when you eat textured foods or accidentally brush against them. This pink-in-the-sink phenomenon indicates that your body's immune system is fighting a losing battle against the bacterial invasion. The bacterial composition undergoes a dramatic shift toward more pathogenic species. Aggressive anaerobic bacteria that thrive deep within the oxygen-poor plaque layers begin producing more potent toxins and enzymes that break down gum tissue. Your breath becomes truly offensive, not just morning breath, but a persistent, foul odor that mouthwash cannot mask, because the source is the established bacterial colonies living on your teeth. Research shows that even after just 1 week of complete neglect, the bacterial load reaches levels typically seen in moderate periodontal disease. Entering the danger zone at the 2-week mark, we witness the transition from reversible gingivitis to potentially irreversible periodontitis. The chronic inflammation has progressed beyond surface-level gum irritation to affect the deeper periodontal structures. Your gums begin pulling away from your teeth, creating periodontal pockets where bacteria can hide beneath the gum line, protected from oxygen and saliva's cleansing action. These pockets become infected breeding grounds where bacteria attack the tooth roots and supporting bone structure. Your gums bleed spontaneously or with minimal provocation, and you may develop small, painful abscesses, localized pus-filled infections that appear as swollen bumps on your gums. The tartar buildup becomes clearly visible to anyone who looks at your teeth, forming brown, crusty deposits that give your smile a distinctly unhealthy appearance. Tooth decay accelerates dramatically during this phase. The constant acid exposure from bacterial waste products creates microscopic holes in your enamel, leading to increased sensitivity to hot, cold, and sweet stimuli. Your teeth may feel loose as the supporting bone begins deteriorating under the chronic bacterial assault. Studies indicate that measurable bone loss can occur within just a few weeks of untreated periodontitis. The psychological and social impacts become severe. Your breath smells like decaying organic matter, creating an invisible barrier in social interactions. You likely begin avoiding close conversations, smiling with your mouth closed, and feeling increasingly isolated. The constant discomfort affects your eating habits, sleep quality, and overall mood as the oral infection establishes itself as a dominant factor in your daily experience. At the 6-month mark, the damage transitions from primarily functional to structural and potentially irreversible. The infection has spread throughout your periodontal tissues, causing significant bone loss around multiple teeth. Advanced periodontitis is now established, with bacteria literally consuming the bone and ligaments that anchor your teeth in your jaw. Visible gum recession becomes apparent, making your teeth appear unnaturally long as the roots become exposed. These root surfaces, covered only by soft cementum rather than hard enamel, are extremely vulnerable to decay and hypersensitive to temperature changes. You may develop multiple dental abscesses, painful, pus-filled infections at the tooth roots that cause throbbing pain and can disrupt sleep. The bacterial load in your mouth is now so extreme that bacteremia, the presence of bacteria in your bloodstream, occurs regularly through your bleeding gums. Medical research has established strong connections between advanced periodontal disease and serious systemic conditions, including cardiovascular disease, stroke, diabetes complications, and respiratory infections. The chronic inflammation places significant stress on your immune system, potentially affecting your body's ability to fight other infections and maintain overall health. Your ability to eat becomes severely compromised. The pain, sensitivity, and loose teeth limit you to soft foods, potentially leading to nutritional deficiencies. The constant pain and infection affect your energy levels, sleep patterns, and mental health, as severe dental disease is strongly associated with depression and anxiety disorders. Reaching the 1-year mark represents a worst-case scenario that most people would never endure due to unbearable pain and obvious health risks. Your mouth has become a source of chronic infection and systemic toxicity. The tartar accumulation is extreme, forming thick, calcified bridges between teeth and creating a visibly diseased appearance that would be shocking to observers. Multiple teeth have likely been lost due to complete destruction of their supporting structures, and the remaining teeth are severely compromised. Deep infections may have spread to your jawbone, causing osteomyelitis, a serious bone infection requiring aggressive antibiotic treatment and possible surgical intervention. The chronic pain would be constant and severe, significantly impacting your quality of life and ability to function normally. Medical literature documents cases where untreated dental infections have spread to vital organs, causing brain abscesses, heart valve infections, or life-threatening systemic sepsis. The bacteria from your mouth can seed infections throughout your body, and the chronic inflammation places dangerous stress on your cardiovascular and immune systems. At this point, the experiment has become genuinely life-threatening, and emergency medical intervention would be absolutely necessary. If you attempted to resume oral care after a full year of neglect, the recovery process would be extensive, expensive, and incomplete. The damage cannot be simply brushed away. Professional intervention would be immediately necessary, beginning with scaling and root planing, a deep cleaning procedure that removes hardened tartar from above and below the gum line, typically requiring local anesthesia due to extreme sensitivity and inflammation. Multiple rounds of antibiotics would be necessary to control the established infections. Any remaining teeth would likely require extensive restorative work, including fillings for cavities, root canal treatments for infected pulps, or extractions for teeth too damaged to save. The bone loss is permanent and irreversible without surgical bone grafting procedures. The healing timeline would span many months. While gum inflammation might resolve within weeks of professional treatment, the structural damage to your periodontal tissues would require ongoing management. You would need frequent dental visits, specialized cleaning procedures, and possibly surgical interventions to restore function and prevent further deterioration. The financial cost would be substantial, potentially reaching tens of thousands of dollars for comprehensive treatment. While deliberately avoiding oral hygiene for a year would be extreme, dental neglect remains a significant global health problem. Approximately 30% of adults worldwide have untreated dental caries, and periodontal disease affects nearly half of adults over 30 to varying degrees. The progression described in this timeline mirrors what occurs in populations without access to dental care or individuals who neglect oral hygiene due to medical conditions, mental health issues, or substance abuse. Historical evidence from archaeological studies shows that severe dental disease was common before modern oral hygiene practices, often leading to systemic infections and death in the pre-antibiotic era. Even today, preventable dental infections result in thousands of hospitalizations annually, with some cases proving fatal when infections spread to vital organs. The connection between oral health and overall longevity is well established in medical literature. Studies published in prestigious journals have linked severe periodontal disease to increased risks of heart attack, stroke, diabetes complications, and adverse pregnancy outcomes. Your mouth truly serves as a gateway to your body's health, making daily oral hygiene a critical component of overall wellness. This exploration reveals that abandoning toothbrushing for a year would transform your mouth from a healthy, balanced ecosystem into a source of chronic infection, pain, and systemic health risks. The progression from fuzzy teeth to bleeding gums, bone loss, tooth loss, and potential life-threatening complications demonstrates why this simple daily habit is actually a sophisticated medical intervention. The 2 minutes you spend brushing twice daily represents one of the most cost-effective health investments you can make, preventing months of pain, thousands of dollars in dental treatment, and potentially serious medical complications. Every brushing session disrupts bacterial colonies before they can establish permanent strongholds and cause irreversible damage. This scenario is purely educational. Never attempt this experiment. The risks of permanent damage, tooth loss, and serious systemic infection are very real and well documented. Continue brushing twice daily, floss regularly, and maintain routine dental care. Your future self will thank you for this simple but essential commitment to your health.